Devin Booker went off in Game 6 versus the Lakers, scoring 47 points, grabbing 11 rebounds. 22 of those points coming in the first quarter alone as the Suns just dominated the Lake Show. Booker on how his idol, Kobe Bryant, inspired his performance.
I saw when you were walking off the floor into the tunnel, you kind of looked up, you sort of put your hands together. I'm just curious what you were thinking in that moment.
Honestly, I was thinking about Kobe in the conversations that we had, kind of about, what we just went through, the postseason, and being legendary and taking the steps to get there. So seeing that 8 and that 24 up there, with the way that the lighting that Staples has right here, it feels like, it's shining down on you. And I know he was here tonight. I know he was in the building. I know he was proud.
A brilliant hat tip there from Devin Booker. Max, what does the series mean for him?
I call him Mini Mamba, and I'm not the only one. Devin Booker reminds me a lot of a little Kobe. He's not as big as Kobe, not as athletic as Kobe, can't create like Kobe, but his footwork, his fearlessness, his ability to score from anywhere at times where it looks like he doesn't have a shot, that reminds me a lot of Kobe, and it did heading into this series. Let's not forget, I'll bring it up every time, because Chris Paul gets a lot of credit. He hit some daggers last night, by the way, and deserves it. Chris Paul's an all-time great. This team was 8-0 in the bubble before Chris Paul ever got there. Devin Booker went from a guy it's not always easy to tell early in players' career. Is he an empty calorie stats guy on a losing team? No, he scores 70 points, but he's there only. No. As the team got better, Booker got better, or vice versa. He is a star, bordering on a superstar, for a winning team that's now making a playoff run. And as much as I love Chris Paul, Booker's their best player. I love the fact, by the way, when he was pointing up like that, he didn't have to say he was thinking about Kobe. It was obvious, Stephen A.
It was obvious. This dude, I believe he's a bona fide superstar right now. This is his first playoff series, Max. Obviously, he hasn't enjoyed the playoff life until this season. And we see the kind of show that he's put on. I thought the question about his superstar status would be answered come playoff time, because that's when you make a name for yourself. And he has shown that what you've seen in terms of him being a career 23-point per game scorer on 45% shooting from the field, 35% from three-point range. This dude has averaged at least 22 points a game over the last 5 seasons as the number one scoring option for the Phoenix Suns. So you're waiting for the playoffs to arrive to see what you're going to get from him. Is it going to be a different Devin Booker? Is he going to be somebody that takes a step back and wilts beneath the pressure? Or will he rise to the occasion? And sure enough, he most certainly did. And in Kobe's house, the Staples Center, to close out the Los Angeles Lakers, he dropped 47. And then what does he do? He talks about the bright lights. He talks about seeing that number 8 and number 24 jersey hanging in the rafters. He, not one of the Lakers, but him, talked about what an inspiration it was for him to be playing in that building and doing the kind of things that he was doing. When you are a guy that's number one, and then finally the stage is set, and you answer the call, that's when it comes down to it. Sometimes it's when you first arrive in the playoffs, Max. Other times is you could have been in the playoffs before, but it's different. Michael Jordan in the 80s dropped 63 at Boston Garden, and Larry Bird called them God and gym shorts or whatever it was and stuff like that, right? We saw Michael Jordan in the postseason before. But once they had the crew and you knew that the Pistons were champions and here they come. All right, MJ, what you gonna do? And MJ ascended. And it was the people around him who didn't answer the call, the migraine headaches and all of this other stuff before Scottie Pippen ultimately became one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. I'm just saying, it's moments that define who you are. And I think last night was Devin Booker's moment.
And by the way,
who he is.
I talked about how he's like Kobe, but not as big, not quite as athletic, can't create well, shoots even better. I don't know. We'll see if he's as great a bad shot maker when it matters most over time. But he can shoot the lights out. But I'll say this about whether or not he's a superstar, Stephen A. He may be on his way, and I'm very high on him. You can put him in a group, though, with Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Ja Morant, young, shorter players, not tiny guys, but young, shorter players who are offensive juggernauts, who've had big playoff performances already in their careers.
I don't agree with that.
And the question is, among that group, who becomes a superstar? That'll largely be determined by how deep these dudes get into the playoffs.
I don't think you have to pick one in a sport like basketball, Max. There's
How many
several.
superstars are there?
I'm just saying, but Max, there could be 30. There could be 30. I mean, literally. In other words, if you're a dude that you're the number one option and night in, night out, you're going to put up these numbers in these buckets. And as the stage ascends, so do you. Okay? Then we have to take into account who you're coached by, the organization you play for, and who you're playing with. And in the case of Devin Booker, let me tell you this. I love me some Jamal Murray. I truly, truly do. But Jamal Murray doesn't do as much during the regular season. And he feeds off of Jokic as well. In the case of Donovan Mitchell, I have no question. That brother's a superstar. That brother's a superstar.
I mean, look,
Donovan
Jamal
Mitchell,
Murray,
there is no question.
Jamal Murray had a game last year, and he had a bunch of great games. He had 50 points and no turnovers in a playoff win. Like, this dude has done some stuff. I agree with you. In the regular season, he doesn't carry as much of a load. But Luka is a superstar. I don't know if the other guys we mentioned are quite there yet, and I don't agree there can be 30. I think at most, like, by definition, not every team can have one. There are levels. There are levels. And Booker is ascending. He is ascending the levels right now.
But Donovan Mitchell is there. We've seen what he's done in the postseason. We've seen what he's done in the regular season, and we see him now. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar.
Maybe.
Yes, the hell he is.
Maybe. I love him,
yes,
but
he is.
Got to do it again and again.
Oh, no. He dropped 47 on the defending
Pretty
champion.
good.
It's looking like a superstar.
Devin Booker's a superstar talent.
All right.
But Donovan Mitchell's a superstar.
On this show, more important to the Hawks 76ers series, Ice Tray or Ben Simmons? Our guys on opposite sides of that debate. Get your popcorn ready, y'all. And even more on the Lakers' downfall. Social media detectives have spotted some unfollowings that are quite interesting. Petty Instagram drama next, right here on First Take.